welcome to Sandy La Pastelera. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a vegan banana cake. So we are going to make this kind of cake, exactly the same one. And now I'm going to show you what the ingredients are, and let's get to the process. Okay, so first I'm going to tell you the ingredients. So we are going to need 200 grams of flour, 75 grams of raw oats, 30 grams of cornstarch, or I'm using tapioca flour. Then we are going to need 5 grams of salt, 4 grams of bicarb, 12 grams of baking powder, 225 grams of sugar. And you know, if you don't want to use brown sugar, you can use vanilla, or you can use coconut sugar or any other sugar that you like. Just remember to make sure how to change the sugar for this sugar, okay? And then we're going to need 250 grams of mashed bananas. Then we're going to need 180 milliliters, 180 milliliters of water. Then we're going to need 90 milliliters of oil. You can use between coconut oil, olive oil, canola oil, sunflower oil. I'm using refined olive oil, so it's up to you with the oil. And then we're going to use 50 grams of raisins and 50 grams of cranberries. If you don't like raisins, you can just change them for another dry fruit. You can add nuts, pecan nuts, walnuts, macadamia, any nut that you want. I'm using cranberries and raisins because that's what I have. And then I'm going to add 50 grams of chocolate. This is optional. If you don't like a banana cake with chocolate, you don't have to add it. And then we're going to need spices. I like to make my banana cake with spices. So I'm adding 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, or like a pinch of nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. So you can make the spices however you like the combination. You can make it your own. I like to do it like that. But if you don't like spiced banana bread, then just add cinnamon, or simply just don't add any of those spices. It will be fine. And then I just like to add orange zest, and again, if you don't like orange zest, you can add lemon zest, or simply just omit that ingredient. It's fine. Okay, let's go with the recipe. So the first part of the recipe is going to be mix the sugars. Okay, so let's add the sugar. Sorry, it's just 1 sugar, so brown sugar. Then we're going to add the sugars, and then we're going to add the oil, the water, and the salt. And then we're going to start mixing this on a mixer. If you don't have a mixer, you can do it by hand. Just make sure we want to kind of like dissolve the sugar. Because it's brown sugar, the granulates of brown sugar are quite big, so it's not going to dissolve completely, but you want to emulsify it for 5 minutes at least at medium speed. So that's what we're going to do. Here we go. And let's put 5 minutes. And in the meantime, while we wait for this, let's sift the dry ingredients. So we're going to sift the flours. Let me just clean the bowl. Okay. Let's add the flour. This can put it away. Okie dokie. Remember, with the flour, like I always tell you, just make sure you use all-purpose flour, or in this case we don't want bread flour, but you can use all-purpose flour or um, baking pastry flour. So that means that it has a lower percentage of protein and it will be less elastic. So all-purpose flour works well. Just make sure the flour doesn't have baking powder on it, and yeah. And then we're going to add the bicarb. Here we go. Then the sorry, that was the baking powder. This is the bicarb. The cornstarch, but in my case I'm using tapioca flour. You can use tapioca flour if you want, or arrowroot starch, or any other starch that you like. It's just going to help it to make the crumb a lot lighter. And yeah, so corn flour, and then that's it really. So let's mix it all together. I always like to mix my dry ingredients after I sift the ingredients, because you want to make sure the baking powder, the bicarb, and everything is combined together, because you don't want to have some parts that don't have the baking powder and some they do. So I just do this to make sure I combine everything. And let's see, it's 2 minutes. It's very small, it's a very small quantity for my mixer, so I have to put my mixer a little bit higher. Okay, so we have this ready, and now I'm just going to add the raw oats, the spices, oops, and just mix all of them together. Because we also want to mix the spices properly. And then again, if you don't like raisins, don't add raisins. Add more cranberries or any other nut that you like. Also, these raisins are quite big. I kind of like the texture of raisins, but if you don't want them so big, you can soak them in water like I did for the vegan carrot muffins, or you can just cut them in half, or just chop them. You can also do that. And then we're going to add the orange zest. Okie dokie. This is a very easy recipe. You need well, you need a few ingredients, but it's very easy to make. And normally most of the ingredients you already have at home, so you won't need to buy like an extra thing. Okay, let's see how our mixture is. I'm going to put it at a higher speed. Oh. If you don't have a mixer, what you can do is you can use the hand blender as well. You can do that, or a food processor, procesador. I don't know how to say that. And just with the bananas, make sure they are ripe. They're ripe, because you don't want to use like green bananas. It won't give the cake the same flavor. So make sure they're very like almost brown. This is a nice recipe because I love bananas, and sometimes I have bananas at home and they're getting a little bit sad, and that's perfect to make banana bread or banana cake. Sorry. Okay, let me see. Okay, it's 5 minutes. Now we are going to add the bananas. Just let me bring a spatula. Yeah. Here we go. And then the next step is just add the bananas. Mix it for another 2 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to put my banana cake in the freezer for a little bit so I can cut it and I can show you how it looks inside. And yeah. Let me put it on a little bit higher speed. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the mold that I'm going to use. It's basically just like a ring, and it's a 16 centimeter ring. So I'll show you. Yeah, 16 centimeters or 6.2 inches. If you don't have this kind of mold, don't you worry, you can just use a simple aluminum mold, 16 centimeter aluminum mold. Just the ones that they sell here, they are not very high, so that's why I like to use this mold. But if you don't have that, you can do it in 2 different molds, or because this is quite high, like you saw, my cake was very high. So if you don't have that mold, don't worry, just grab 2 16 centimeters molds and then it should be fine. Or you can also use this kind of molds. If you want to have like more like a small banana cake, you can do these ones here. And let me see the measurements of these ones. These are 14 centimeters by 8, and then the height is 5. So 14, 8, and 5. And this one is almost 9 centimeters tall. So it's very tall. Yeah, I love to use this kind of baking paper because you can take the cake quite easily, and you don't have to use any fat to grease the mold or anything. It's a lot easier and convenient, and your molds are always nice and clean. That's why I like to use that paper. But if you don't have this paper, don't you worry, you can just okay, it's 2 minutes. You can just use another baking paper, yeah, or simply just grease the mold. It's fine. Okay. And now it's very easy. So now everything is mixed. Let's make sure everything is mixed completely. Oh, I forgot. We're going to add a little bit of vanilla essence. If you don't like vanilla essence, you can add vanilla extract or vanilla seeds, but that's what I have. So I'm just going to add vanilla essence, just like a little bit, like 2.5 milliliters or 5 milliliters. If you like more vanilla, then add a little bit more. And that's about it. So I'm just going to, I'm going to add the chocolate here too. Mix it all together. Put it inside. So, like I told you, if you don't have a mixer, don't worry, you can do it by hand. Just when you mix the sugar with the oil and the water, just make sure you mix it properly for at least 5 to 10 minutes. And then add the rest of the ingredients. So then you will add the mashed banana and then the dry ingredients. And I'm going to bake my vegan banana cake at 165 degrees Celsius for an hour and 15 minutes, because it's a very tall cake, so it does take quite a bit. And also remember, if you have a fan, a convection oven that has a fan on it, make sure you lower the temperature, because it's not the same if you use a conduction oven or an oven that doesn't have a fan on it. Okay, so that's it. It's very easy and simple. And we're just going to clean here. Ready. So let me preheat my oven. I think I did told you that you have to preheat your oven at a higher temperature. So if I'm baking these at 165 degrees Celsius, I have to make sure I put it at 180 degrees Celsius, because when you open the door of the oven, the temperature would decrease. Yeah, so then it won't be at the right temperature that you need. So that's it, and it's very easy and simple. I just, if you have these kind of rings, so what I did is I cut a circle, so I put the paper underneath, put the ring on top, and then I just cut it like that. Very easy. If you don't want to do that, you can also have aluminium and just put it at the bottom, and then just turn it. I'll show you. You can also do that if you don't have this kind of paper. So what you can do is just put it like that, cut a piece, and then just turn and turn and turn and turn and turn and turn and turn. And ready. Why I'm doing that is because if I don't do a little ring like that, all the batter, all the mixture will go out of the mold, and I don't want that. So you can either do this, or you can do this method as well. It works well. I'm going to use both just because. And then I just have another paper like that for the other part, for the sides. And I just put it like that. And I really like to have, you can either use like little clips here that are for the oven, or you can use just a simple tape, and that will be it. So let me just stick it on. And here, and it's ready. Okay. Okay, let's put the mixture in. Oh, let me weigh it so I can tell you how much the mixture weighs. Also, you have to make sure you because it's just a ring and it's not stable at the bottom, you have to make sure you put the mixture when the mold is on the tray, because you don't want to move the mold. Yeah, it will be a disaster. So just make sure this is ready, is on a sturdy surface or on a tray, and yeah. Okay, hold on a second. So the mixture weighs, oopsie daisy, my oven is ready. Okay, so the mixture weighs 1,216 grams. That's quite a lot for a small cake, but we want I just wanted a tall banana cake. Why not? And then I think I showed you in the last video I made the chocolate creations, and I have leftover chocolate crumble. So I'm just going to add a lot of crumble on top. Ding, 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 ding. I love crumble, and also it's so nice to have just a simple cake, and I don't really like frostings. Well, it depends on the frosting, but I prefer something simple like this, with less sugar, and you can actually taste the texture of the cake and just the cake. That's very tasty. So that's it, and it's ready to be to put it in the oven. Off you go for an hour and 15 minutes. That's quite a long time. So if you don't want to bake it that tall and you want to put it in 2 or 3 molds, you can do that, and it won't take an hour and 50 minutes. It will be ready in half an hour or 25 minutes. What I do is you can either use a little something like this to make, and you put it inside to make sure that it's ready. So you put it inside, you take it out, and if it's clean, it's ready. Or what I do is I just check the temperature. So if it's a cake like that, it has to be at 97 to 97 to 99 degrees Celsius, and it should be ready. So that's what I do, and that's it for the cake. It was very nice and easy, and now I'm just going to bring you the other cake, and let's cut it and see how it looks inside. Okie dokie. So the cake is a little bit warm still, but we can't wait, so we have to cut it. What you can do with banana cakes is you can bake it, let it cool down completely, and then put it in the fridge overnight, and the next day it will taste a lot better. So let me show you. Let's cut a little piece. Okie dokie. Let me show you. Ooh, so nice. Okay, so you can see that the cake is very hot still, but look at the texture. It's so beautiful. I really like it. I did add a lot of raisins in this one, so instead of adding a mixture of cranberry and raisins, I just added 100 grams of raisins because I love raisins. But if, like I said, if you don't like raisins, you can change it for any nut that you like. That's the nice thing about this kind of cakes, that you can make it your own, and you can put anything that you like. Even you can add dry coconut or anything really. So it's pretty beautiful. I really like it, and it's still very nice and warm. So I'm going to let it cool down completely before I eat it, and that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know if you have any problems with the recipe or if you need any help, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!